So, with the upcoming crossover that Global ain't gonna be seeing for the next 50 years for Punishing Gray Raven, that is, DMC5, I was actually curious on what exactly it was that it was gonna be about. This crossover announcement has been bringing new players to check out Kuro Games. I even saw some people in the comments section of my last video talking about how they didn't know what PGR was to begin with, but started solely checking it out for the simple fact that DMC5 was crossing over with it next year. Or maybe even sooner than that. I do hope they end up liking the game. I know that it's not exactly for everyone and it can be slow, but I hope that they end up trying Wuthering Waves as well, and if they do end up liking both games, I do hope that they stick with it, but if they don't like it, as I understand PGR can start off and be a little slow, I'm not going to blame them, I'm not going to give them any slack. Hell, even the PGR players think that starting in PGR is just absolutely abysmal dog shit. Anyways, you see, I got no information on what it could be, and I don't think anyone else in this space knows either. Aside from Rexlent maybe, he probably hit up that CEO and was like, hey fam, I'm trying to see what this DMZ crossover is all about. CEO was like, hey yo Rexlent, I got you fam. Here's all the details, here's all the characters, here's what the entire rundown of the patch is gonna be. Got Rexlent sitting there with Diavolo 2020 vision. But still, that won't stop us, people that are not named Rexlent, from speculating and guessing and just overall wondering, what exactly is it that Kuro Games could be trying to pull here? I saw a lot of interesting theories as well, suggesting that this crossover was planned and started possibly months ago, maybe a few years ago, that it was tested and planned through the flashy combat update and through Lucia Pyroth or Pyro Oath or however it is it's called, and honestly, it does make sense. Now, before I continue on with PGR and DMC5 crossing over with it, I did want to briefly touch on something regarding Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I will be making videos on it eventually. I'm just in a bit of a weird way with the game. I enjoy playing it and I think that it's fun, but it's just missing a sort of novelty that I won't be able to get back that I felt in my little kid heart 15 years ago. 15 years, man. It's been 15 years since I was just in my room, ass deep in the ghetto, playing the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series on my PlayStation. Damn, time really does fly, huh? And now my YouTube chat is probably gonna end up like my Twitch chat, with everybody and their mama calling me Unk. But what's going on, you guys? My name's Ragashu, and on this channel, I'm going to be covering Kuro Games and Dragon Ball content. If you like what you see and like what you hear, go ahead and like and subscribe. Anyways, let's get right into the things that we want to see and hope we get when it comes to the Devil May Cry 5 crossover with Punishing Gray Raven. Now, first and foremost, let me make one thing abundantly clear. This is not a crossover with DMC Peak of Combat. I know that there's a lot of memes talking about everything PGR crosses over with dies or has died, but there are legitimately some people I saw confusing Peak of Combat with Devil May Cry 5, two wildly different games with wildly different quality for both. Once again, I am actually glad that Peak of Combat will never see the light of day again. I stand by that shit on God for real. Call me a certified POC hater and I ain't talking about my people of color. Now, with that out the way, the DMC series all the way up to DMC5 has got to be in my top 5 best stories I have ever seen and experienced. I fell in love with the twin brothers story, the world, the enemies, the lore. All of it really just kinda tickled my super cool sword wielding dude Pickle, so yeah. Being able to see that DMC5 will be sharing its absolutely immensely loved spotlight with PGR does actually make me happy. I hope I get to see the parallels I pointed out between Alpha and Lucia's story aligning with Dante and Virgil's story. More specifically, their relationship. You can actually see what I explain about Alpha and Lucia's relationship being linear alongside Dante and Virgil's relationship. Actually, it's in this video. At least, I'm pretty sure that it's in this video. The parallels between these four is insane, and I wonder if it will be a focal point in a potential story mode in the patch, further exploring the feelings Lucia and Alpha have towards one another. Now, obviously not in a romantic sense, but it would be super cool to be able to witness it be unraveled and shown entirely, especially when it's in tandem with the Demon Twins. Now, aside from mentioning that, however, obviously another thing that we want to see and be able to do is witness a badass fight between Virgil and Alpha. Literally everyone around here calls Alpha one of Virgil's daughters, and honestly, I find it hilarious. But also, seeing a fight between these two would be cool as shit. Now, before I continue, let's be honest. Let's make one thing abundantly clear. Dante and Virgil could probably flick their dick, and the entire world of PGR will end up getting nuked. Because we all know that Sin Devil Trigger Dante and Virgil are probably capable of busting motherfucking galaxies several times over. I mean, in DMC3, I believe, Dante was in that sort of Sparta demon energy form, kind of like that Sparta Devil Trigger form, literally flying after Mundus in his own realm, trying to run the ultimate ones in that realm at presumably incalculable speeds. But it isn't about who stomps who or who is stronger. It's about seeing a flashy, cool fight that both sides of the fandom would be able to enjoy and appreciate. Plus, it would be extra icing on the cake if we play as Virgil and fight Alpha, just like what happened with the Black Rock Shooter update. Play as Virgil and be able to show her a thing or two, you know? Or, hear me out, maybe having Dante race Alpha on Cavalier as she rides on her trusty motorcycle. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty sick, and I know Dante's pizza eating, not paying rent head ass would be having the time of his life. Dante gotta be the most day room motherfucker when it comes to paying that damn electrical bill. Got his landlord screaming at him and he's pretending not to hear him the whole time. But also, another important thing we would love to see is to see a DMC version of that flashy sort of game mode in CN, I think it is. But DMCify it, and make it a Bloody Palace game mode with a mix of DMC5 demons and corrupted from PGR. Have the magical demon blood take control of the punishing virus and use it to its advantage, to try and create an infected, multidimensional Clyfoth tree. Spread the virus through hell and earth. Goddamn, you know what, actually, that sounds so busted. Like, obviously the punishing virus ain't doing shit to super OP ancient demon magic, but like, imagine the Clyfoth using the punishing virus. Imagine just how badly shit would get with the horrors beyond man's comprehension running around. I mean, we already have man-made horrors beyond our comprehension running around in PGR. So imagine just how much worse shit would get. Definitely gonna need a Sin Devil Trigger for that one though. And speaking of a Sin Devil Trigger, it would be cool as shit to see a skin where Alpha, or both Alpha and Lucia, gets their own Devil Triggers. That will be straight gas, no DB super. Some of y'all also mentioned that the game modes they made prior was probably tests for this upcoming crossover, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. If this crossover is the product of Lucia, Pyroth or Pyro Oath and that one flashy game mode in CN, then honestly, this may end up simply being the best crossover in Gacha history. And now all they gotta do is slide some of that crossover money to Wuthering Waves and make a DMC5 crossover part 2. Let me not continue yapping y'all's ears off. You guys tell me what you think we'll get in this upcoming crossover. Do you think it'll be the best crossover in PGR? Do you think it'll be the best crossover in Gacha history? Let us know down below. But, as always, I want you all to take care, and peace.